bit different. Stay safe, raise your consciousness, avoid, being murdered. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This week is going to be something a little bit different. We're basically going to walk through a scenario of what a woman might do on a night out. So basically the scenario is that she met a guy on Tinder, she's going on a date, and we're going to talk through all the things that she might do to stay safe throughout the course of the night, from, before she goes, when she's there, on the way home, when she gets home, all these things. And basically it's just to point out all of the things that women do to, again, stay safe. I'm going to probably do this a lot and I'm doing that because I want to convey that even doing those things, you very well still might not be safe. Like, they are not the be all and end all to being safe. To really be safe, we need men not to attack women. So when I say stay safe, I will probably do this a lot because it's silly. So, but we'll get to that throughout the video. So one thing I want to make very clear is that this is not a tips and tricks video. I have no interest or intentions of telling women how to stay safe on a night out. You all already know, you all already do these things. This video is to point out to the men what we go through and what we do every single day of our lives to try and stay safe. But this is also to point out to some of the women that do these things that aren't maybe aware that this actually isn't normal, that this actually isn't okay. So this really is for everyone to just raise your consciousness and be like, oh my god, we do actually all these things and maybe that isn't normal or okay and maybe I should do something about that. So that is the purpose of this video. It is not a tips and tricks video. I am not encouraging any of you to do this because I don't think we should have to, but here we are. So let's start off. So let's say, for example, the woman, we'll call her Sally. So Sally she's met a guy on Tinder, she's all excited for her date, but she is taking all the necessary precautions to make sure that she is doing things responsibly and being safe and what have you. Obviously, before she even commits to the date, she's gonna try and stalk all his social media profiles. She's gonna ask all her friends, should I do this, should I not, is this safe? She's gonna completely try and just stalk him about everything she can before she even commits to the date. Then when she commits to this date, they will agree to meet in a public place. No going to his house because he could rape her. No going to a quiet, dark park late at night. Again, no. So she will suggest a bar with lots of people or a restaurant, again, all to just avoid being murdered. She'll tell her friends and her roommates and her family or whatever where she's going, what time she's going. They'll have his profile, they'll know everything about him. They might have a plan to, she can text them half an hour in saying, everything's good, we're all fine. If they don't receive a text from her, they can start to panic or they can get onto her. So they can concoct all these plans just to make sure that she is okay. She might send a live location if they move locations, again, just to make sure this is their first time meeting him, just to make sure that she is okay. So then maybe when they're out, and again, a lot of these things can be said for any situation, but it's kind of just interesting to go through Sally's night on her date. So she'll make sure not to drink too much. She might want to drink a lot, but she won't because, again, that would get her into compromising positions. Again, pay attention to all of these. She won't take her sight off her drink. She'll watch it being poured, she'll watch it being made. She won't leave it go. She might even bring it to the bathroom with her. She'll be very conscious of who she leaves her drink with and if she leaves it with someone, or yeah, she'll be keeping an eye on her drink. If she was on a night out with friends, they probably would go to the bathroom together. And I wanted to mention this because we so often mock women, like, oh my god, they travel in packs, they go to the bathroom together. And it's like, yeah, why do you think they travel in packs? Why do you think women go to the bathroom together? And what's so funny, side note, about this one is that it's like we're never explicitly told, oh, go to the bathrooms together. But it's like we know that, okay, we have to go together because if we don't, then we'll get separated. And like, if you're all in the one club or on one pub, it's not that dodgy to be separated all in the one place, but who knows what could happen on your way to the bathroom alone, on the way back from the bathroom alone. So you all have to go together. So I think that's a really interesting one that I don't think we were ever explicitly told go to the bathroom together, but it's like we all just instinctively know that we must go to the bathroom together. So yes, back to the date. Now, another thing, again, if you were going on a night out, you might decide to wear pants instead of a skirt because a skirt allows easy access. And if you're wearing pants, then if you're being attacked or you're being raped or someone's trying to rape you, a pants might take them more time to take off and it might give you a bit more time to get away. So it's it's just, these are the things we have to think about. So now we've come to the end of the date. So she's like, okay, like maybe I don't bring him back because this is the first date and maybe I do want to have sex, but I don't really want this person knowing where I live, so I'm not going to bring him back. He might offer to walk her home. She might say, no, again, don't want you knowing where I live, because he might come and attack her and rape her later on. So that will all be going through her head. So let's say, for example, she lives 10 minutes away and she's going to walk home, and he lives the opposite direction, so they say goodbye at the restaurant or at the pub or club or whatever. So she'll do a couple of different things on her walk home. So first of all, it's dark, it's pitch black, she's scared, she's a woman. She's gonna not want to look lost, because then she'll be vulnerable and then people might take advantage of that vulnerability. So she's gonna want to walk head first, straight, confident, the whole way. She's not gonna want to stop on the street. Again, people might think she's lost, it'll draw attention, she doesn't want attention being drawn to her, so she's just not gonna stop at any, even if she wants to just be on her phone, just like on Instagram or whatever, she's not gonna stop, she's gonna continue walking. Say if she got lost, again, she's not gonna wanna have maps on her phone, because people might see maps and again, assume she's lost and take advantage. And that has happened to me several times. I've had my maps open and I've been like, okay, no, I'm just gonna kind of hide that there now so no one knows that I am lost. If someone is following her, she might stop then and maybe pretend to be making a call to someone and then they pass her by. Or just in general, even if no one is around her, she might just pretend to be on the phone to a boyfriend, or she might actually ring a friend just to be on the phone call with her for her 10-minute walk home. Again, she might wear more clothes just to avoid being stared at and to try and avoid anything bad happening. Even if it's absolutely roasting outside and she does not need all those clothes, she will wear them. Then there comes the issue of lights. She is going to try and walk down streets with a lot of lighting. If there is no lighting and she has to go down that street, she might run down that street as fast as she can. If she has a choice between two streets, one with not a lot of people and then one with a lot of people, she's going to have to think about which one to go down. Is it more dangerous to go down the one with nobody on it because anybody could sneak up at you at any moment? Or is it more dangerous to go down the street with people on it because one of those people could very well attack you? And again, is it safer to go down the street with nobody on it because there's nobody on it, so nobody's going to attack you? Or is it safer to go down the street with people on it so that if someone attacks you, one of these people on the street could potentially save you? So she's going to weigh that up and make a decision. She might not want either of these options and then go a different route home, even if it's longer, just to avoid these streets, or continue in well-lit streets that are a bit more open air and friendly. Again, even if it's longer. And the being longer isn't just an issue because you are not feeling that exercised that night. It's an issue because you don't want to be outside for longer than you need to be. So again, taking all these things into account. If there are guys taunting her, harassing her, catcalling her, whistling, following her, whatever, she is either going to do one of two things. Again, she's either going to make a decision not to talk back, not to say anything, ignore them, eyes forward because she wants to get rid of them as fast as possible, let it know that she's not interested, that she is not engaging, she is not escalating this, she is just not getting involved, she is ignoring. Or she's going to want to assertively look at them, again, be strong. She might say something to get rid of them. And again, you're constantly weighing up the options. Is it safer to not say something or say something? What could be the worst outcome here? And follow that through and decide which route to go. She's definitely not going to have something on in her earphones. She might want to listen to a book or music or a podcast, but she's not going to do that because then she won't hear if someone's coming up behind her. She won't hear if a car is coming. So no, she's not going to be listening to anything on her phone, even if she wants to. She's going to want to obviously walk fast and get home as fast as possible, but she's not going to walk too fast because again, then that shows that she is scared and vulnerable. And then people might take advantage of that vulnerability and so on and so forth. So she's going to do, a good enough pace, but she's not going to run. She's going to pretend like she's calm and everything is fine. And again, just not draw any attention to herself whatsoever. If she sees people coming towards her, she might cross the road, which again is dangerous because there's cars coming, it's dark. She might cross the road, leave them go, and then she might have to cross back again because her house is in that direction. So yeah, lots of acrobatics going on. And this entire time she might have her keys in between her fingers, like sticking out like that, so that if someone came up to her that she could maybe fight back and attack people. I've never done this one consciously. I have had my keys in my hand, but I've never had them ready to attack. But I know people that had done this, so this is a very, very common one. So that's a bit about what she might do if she was walking home. A lot of people just might decide not to walk home at all, and it's very evident when you go out at night, which I don't do that often, but when I do, you literally just don't see women out and about. It's just all men. And like, I just think like if we all went out like at the same time, there would be so much more of us. It would be a more normal occurrence, so men wouldn't be so shocked when they see us and just have to take advantage of it. But also if there was more women, we would all just be there to stand up for each other and protect each other, and it would just be great for everyone. And then we'd have the freedom to go outside at night time, and it would just be amazing. So yeah, I just want that to happen for everyone. So let's say she didn't walk. Let's say she actually drove there and then she's driving home again. So when she gets into her car, she's gonna check the back seat to see has anyone gotten in. She's gonna lock the door straight away again, so that no one can try and get in. If she forgets to lock the car, but then she's like stuck in traffic, or she's, you know, parking up, and she sees someone walking towards her, she's gonna wanna lock the door so that they don't try and break in. But when you lock the door, it makes a sound. So she's gonna wanna time it right so that she locks it so that the man can't get in, but that she locks it kind of early enough that he doesn't hear and then know that she's scared and vulnerable, etc., etc. She's also going to want to park when she gets home in a well-lit area again, so that she's getting out of the car, she can see if anybody's coming around her, she knows her surroundings. Yeah, she's in control. Let's say then she didn't drive and she wants to get a taxi. So she might call a taxi on the street. She's going to get in the back seat, obviously not the front seat, because she could be groped or raped, etc., etc. She's going to look at the taxi driver information, potentially take a picture and send it to her friends again, just to make sure that he actually drops her to where she's living. And again, if we had more female taxi drivers and equal representation in the taxi industry, then that maybe wouldn't be so much of a problem. But that's what she's gonna do. If she's getting an Uber or something like that, she's maybe gonna screenshot the driver information, again, send to her friend. Can you, I think, share the details of a ride with a friend? She might do that. And again, then she might check the app the entire way home just to make sure the driver is actually going the route that she wants him to go, and that she's actually going home and not being brought to a big dirty warehouse somewhere. If she decides she's going to get like a metro or a subway or whatever home, she is going to, again, just be constantly looking around her the entire time, making sure that no one's kind of following her, that everything's fine. When she is kind of just waiting for the train, she's going to stand far away as possible from any men that are kind of waiting at the station. When she's deciding what carriage to get in, she's going to want to get in one with a lot of people and not just like one man or like an empty one, because then a man could see that she's alone on that carriage and get in last minute, and she could be in a carriage alone with one man. If she sees someone staring at her in the carriage the entire time and she's a dodgy feeling, she might actually stay on the metro and get out at a stop that isn't her own, just to make sure that he doesn't get out at the same stop with her. Or if she does get out at her stop and she sees this man get off with her, she might again stay behind, pretend to make a call. She might get back on the next train, go somewhere else, etc., etc. Now, so taking into account all those different routes that she could have gotten home, she has finally arrived home. So say she lives in an apartment, she probably chose an apartment not on the ground floor, because on the ground floor, people can see you, see what you're doing, see who lives in that apartment, and it's dangerous, and they have easy access. It's the first apartment that you hit when you enter an apartment building, so she's probably going to want an apartment on the second, third, fourth, fifth floor, whatever. If she has a couple keys on her, she's going to want to make sure that she has the key she needs ready to go, so there's no fumbling around when she gets to the door of her apartment building or whatever. She's going to obviously look around before she kind of puts the key in the door, just to make sure no one's going to follow her in, and then she's going to like really quickly close the door after her again to make sure no one has followed her in. She's obviously then going to text someone, whether a friend or a family member, or tell her roommate that she's home. She's going to text everyone and going to say, I'm safe, I'm home. But even then, are you safe in your own home? Not really. She might decide that she wants to sleep naked because it's really hot and she's more comfortable, but she is going to wear pajamas just in case someone breaks it. So again, even when you're home, are you that safe? Even if you are, do you feel safe? Probably not, because you're a woman. So that is Sally's night out. She is exhausted from the mental load of being a woman. She is exhausted from having to think about every action that she does and the different consequences and repercussions that could arise from every action that she does. And because we have been trained to believe that anything happening to us is our fault, every action we do, we have to say, okay, well, if I don't do this now, okay, and then that's, if I get attacked, that's my fault now, and then they'll use this against me if I drink too much or if I wear lace underwear. Okay, so I have to think about all these things to make sure that nothing happens to me, and if it does happen to me, that it can't be construed as my fault. It is exhausting. And like, one thing that kills me, that we always say things like, oh, it's not, we tell women, oh, it's not safe for you to go home on your own. First of all, I always say this, instead of telling women to be safe on the way home and do all these things, a much easier option and a time saver, just a really kind of easier option is, instead of telling women to be safe, tell men not to harass women, tell men not to rape women, tell men not to murder women. It's much easier, much simpler, and then it stops women having to do all these things that might still get her attacked. She could do everything perfectly and she might still be attacked, still be raped, still be murdered. And it might still be her fault because she missed out on one step that she didn't do absolutely perfectly. And I think what's also hilarious is that we always say things like, yeah, it's so dangerous for a woman to be alone at night, but we never say why. We always say that it's so dangerous, but we never say the reason why. And it's so interesting when you think about it. I heard something recently and that inspired this, and it was talking about racism in America, and it was saying things, like Black and Latinos are, such and such percentage more likely to, be impoverished or, be in prison or have this education. But it never says why. The answer is racism. It never says why. It just says the stats, just says the facts, but it never says why. And I think it's similar here. It's like we always say, oh, it's so dangerous to go on a bit at night. And we never say why that is. Men and sexism. I think let's own the problem. Let's say what the problem is. Again, as said, this video is not a tips and tricks video. I wouldn't even dare of it being one. But I think I've made the point that we do so many things to try and not get attacked. And I think maybe instead of a whole list of things that women do, maybe we should make a list for men and say maybe this is what you shouldn't do. That to me again seems a lot easier, saves a lot of time, saves a lot of trouble. I think that would be a much better use of our time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope if you are a man, you learned what we go through. I hope if you're a woman, you learned that this is not normal and that you shouldn't have to do this. I hope we are all awake to what women go through. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more like this, please subscribe to my channel and give the video a thumbs up. If you liked it, don't give it a thumbs down. If it makes you sad, give it a thumbs up, because we're still hopeful. We're still out here hoping that the world is gonna get better for women someday. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in next week's video. Bye!